At 45, Doug Burns has achieved a level of fitness most people his age only dream about.
All right, deadlifts, here we go.
Today, he enjoys worldwide acclaim for his weightlifting prowess. But Doug wasn't always so healthy and strong.
I ended up being the smallest child in the class. I weighed less than any other kid, and as a result, and understandably so, I was picked on a lot, by the other kids. Pushed around, tripped, made fun of.
At age 7, Doug contracted mumps. Recovery was slow and difficult. He was always thirsty and kept losing weight.
Finally, I'm brought back into the hospital, and they checked my sugar. It should have been between 80 to 120. That's where normal blood glucose range is, and mine was 750, 800.
Doug was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. His body could not produce insulin to regulate his blood sugar.
I just assumed that I left the hospital, everything was cured, and it wasn't the case at all.
Just a first grader, Doug had to learn to inject himself with insulin. It was the early 70s, a time when diabetes was much tougher to control.
I was repeatedly hospitalized. I was brought in probably 30, 40 times by evac within the first few years of diabetes.
Doug was so skinny, his nickname was Bag of Bones. He assumed he was destined to stay that way until one day he came across a picture of Samson from the Bible wrestling a lion.
And he's got these gigantic deltoids and these huge arms. And so I became transfixed with that image, and it stuck, it just stuck to me. And I said, that's my solution. That's what I've got to do. Somehow I've got to get like this guy.
Though today it's known that exercise is beneficial for people with diabetes, at that time they were told to avoid strenuous activity. But that didn't deter Doug. There were no gyms in his Mississippi town, so he built his own gym in the woods. At first, no change. But he stuck with it and even entered a competition. He finished dead last.
But I didn't care, because here I am competing in a contest, whereas before I was competing just to not get knocked around by other kids.
As he became more fit, his diabetes became easier to control. Doug kept competing, and he didn't stay dead last for long.
I went to the Nationals in Pennsylvania, Allentown, Pennsylvania, and set an American record in the bench press before I left high school against everybody else in the USA, adults included. Your quads, glutes, hams.
Doug went on to become a personal trainer.
Spot on. All right.
And a father of 3.
Okay. Let's play.
Doug's story could have ended happily here, but it gets even better.
Aaron, you covering? To the right. Oh!
After years away from competition, he set his sights on a new goal, competing in so-called natural weightlifting contests.
No steroids, no hormones, nothing.
Doug trained intensely.
I would train, for hours on end. To me, the distance between myself and the prize was how much work I was willing to do.
Okay, your overall winner, number 60, Doug Burns.
His hard work had paid off, but Doug still wasn't done. He kept training, and 2 years later competed in the Mr. Natural Universe contest, and won.
It was very gratifying. It felt incredible.
While he's low-key about this achievement,
We weren't even ready.
his kids were positively thrilled.
I was really excited. I burst out into tears, and I was really proud of him. My dad put in a lot of hard work for it, and he trained for a long time, and it was just like, it was a big deal.
With the title Mr. Natural Universe came another title, role model to children with diabetes.
They love him. They act like he's like a superstar, and it's kind of cool. They're like, oh my gosh, your dad's Mr. Universe. That's so cool.
Diabetes is simply an obstacle, just like everything else. Now, it's a complex obstacle, and you have to obviously work, but you have the ability to do what you want. If you're willing to choose it wisely, and dedicate yourself to doing it, and that's it.